Hi, good day, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Not TV production. Dr. Jones, my name is Dr. Jones. So you're welcome to 35 minutes news, local news. 31-year-old woman impregnant by 13-year-old boy won't face any jail time. A 31-year-old woman who admitted to having sex with a 13-year-old boy and later became pregnant will not face any additional jail time. Andrea Serrano, 31, was arrested by Fountain Police Department officers on July 5, 2022. According to the Fountain Police Department, she was accused of raping a 13-year-old child and booked on charges of sexual assault on a child by one imposition of trust and sexual assault on a child. True crime reporter reported that Serrano was a mother figure to the child, and she told the detectives that he called her mom. She told detectives that he called her mom. The 13-year-old allegedly slept over Serrano's house on multiple occasions. Serrano became pregnant from one of the sexual encounters with the child. Serrano has since given birth to the baby. From jail only days later after posting a $70,000 bond. During the trial, the boy's mother claimed that Serrano was not being punished enough and there was a double standard because she is a woman. She, Serrano, sexually assaulted my 13-year-old son. She introduced him to drugs. She needs to be in jail. The mother told Judge William Moller, according to the Colorado Springs Gazette, it's a double standard. If she was a man and my son was a girl, she, Serrano, will be behind bars right now. Despite the mother's position or a petition, Serrano won't face any jail time under a plea deal with prosecutors. Serrano pleaded guilty to incest. Under the plea deal, Serrano was registered as a sex offender for life and faces 10 years to life on sex offender probation. However, Serrano will serve no additional jail time for her child sex abuse crimes. Serrano is allegedly caring for the baby right now. Now, the boy's family will reportedly ask the court to give them custody of the infant. Custody and visitation of the baby was not terminated during the hearing. Judge Moller said that the situation will need to be resolved by the Department of Human Services. The victim's mother told KKTV, "I feel like my son is robbed of his childhood. Now he's having to be a father. Here is a victim. He's a victim and is going to have to live with that for the rest of his life." Let's go to another news. Black Coffee's left hand is out. Post left people in stitches on social media. Black Coffee's left hand is out. Post left people in stitches on social media. The internet was abuzz after a photo of a Black Coffee giving a woman a peck on the cheek went viral, and the conversation continued in the comment section. Some commenters apparently convinced that Coffee's love for them warranted the exposure of his left hand. Point out that he wasn't just kissing her, he was also holding her. What we know about Black Coffee's left hand comes from an interview where he described how he and his grandmother celebrated Nelson Mandela's release with the crowds on that night in 1990. At around 3 or 4 in the morning, he was awakened by a loud noise that sounded like a gunshot. And when he came to, the building was on fire, and he and everyone else inside were being rushed to the hospital. Those who had lined the streets were apparently hit by a cab that had veered off the road. The hospital staff examined Black Coffee's hand and concluded that if had only suffered a hairline fracture before releasing him. However, his grandmother took him to a specialist in Durban after just one day because the pain was unbearable. After a thorough examination, the doctor concluded that his arm was dead, that the nerves in his shoulder had been severed and had amputated was a serious possibility. The doctor's reassuring words that amputations was not an option, but that it will be a while before his hand regains strength help ease his fears. A Facebook user who goes by the handle Tumelo Samuels felt compelled to caption this image and share it with the world. Another one commented and said, "I don't see anything funny here." Another one commented and said, "Then why do we laugh at him being disabled?" Another one commented and said, "Is being disabled a thing to laugh?" Another one commented and said, "People are being stupid and childish. Is disgustingly stupid." Another one commented and said, "There's nothing wrong with this hand." Another one commented and said, "What exactly do you want from his hand and what's your business on his hand?" Another one commented and said, "I can't understand where laughter comes in here. Very stupid caption and hopefully not true, a reflection of the writer." Let's go to another news. I will make sure I revenge back on Cyril Ramaphosa if I join EFF party. See why and what happened. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma on Friday assumed the tragedy procurement processes during the nationalized chase of a rein on the energy crisis will not be abused. We are assured that the accounting officers who will benefit the disaster procurement according to this set of laws will asset to surface in-house every month accordingly, that we don't gain anybody abusing the regulations. Alleged Dlamini Zuma. Okay. The minister was consulting the media in Pretoria on the convention after the gazetting of the inhabitant land of failure by the Cyril Ramaphosa final month. Every month, the accounting police officer goes to the Senate to give explanation pardon. They take a part in procured and for what? That is how we are irritating to obstruct pardon. Happened earlier. Departure to a house representative every month is an offer to the cooperative as inhabitants will appreciate that they will enclose the explanation to the nation. Another news, let's go to another news. Senior SAPS official in deep trouble after former Eskom CEO exposed him. Say what he allegedly did. According to a News 24 article, former Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter met with a high-ranking police official, General Fani Masemola, to discuss charges of wrongdoing inside the company. Two high-ranking members of the African National Congress ANC government have been named in the corruption charges. The report states that in November of 2020, De Ruyter approached General Masemola to alert him about the charges. The corruption allegations were brought to De Ruyter's attention by Eskom inquiries. What exactly General Masemola did after learning of the charges is unclear. According to reports, Eskom contracts with IPPs, which supply renewable energy to the grid, are at the center of corruption allegations. According to the accusations, the two high-ranking officials had a hand in steering business to companies to which they had ties. There have been rumors that Eskom present financial woes might be traced back to the utility excessive spending on renewable energy resources. The African Congress, ANC, has been at the center of several high-profile corruption trials in recent years, most notably that of former President Jacob Zuma. The party's reputation will take a hit from the claims against the top Eskom officials, especially before the 2021 municipal elections. Eskom, the South African company responsible for power generation and distribution, has run into a number of problems in recent years, aging facilities, budgetary issues, and charges of corruption all fit under this category. Utilities have been working on a turnaround strategy to fix these problems and get back on track financially. News 24's investigation into Eskom's problems sheds light on corruption and political influence more generally in South Africa. There is still uncertainty about how these claims will affect Eskom's leadership on the ongoing effort to address the utility problems. Let's go to another news. Thuli Madonsela drags Julius Malema in a hot water after revealing a top secret. The Chief Justice of the Commission's interview with a wide range of individuals the day before set off a chain reaction. Again, we find that the EFF led by Julius Malema relies heavily on the cries of its supporters in order to gain traction in South Africa. People should be careful about throwing others under the bus, says Thuli Madonsela. Since eventually those on an even playing field with you will do the same. She gave the instance of Julius Malema's questioning of Raymond Zondo as an illustration. Malema's unfair attack on Raymond reverberated across South Africa, impacting not only a regular Thuli but all South Africans. Malema said he couldn't be connected to a pick who can meet with South African leaders without being questioned because the United States has been through a lot. An idea put up by the panels is that judges, including other judges, should be unable to communicate with one another. This is because the law is dealt with by judges. Some worry that this will make the judge look bad and put the blame squarely on his shoulders. Yet, no one can be sure what Raymond Zuma and Ramaphosa cited during their discussion because of South Africa's history of corruption. Malema's notoriety has increased dramatically. There is no longer any doubt in his mind that he has an unrealistically low opinion of South Africans. I think he wants to wipe the state clean and make sure he's on the right track to regaining public favor. Let's go to another news. I rose from the dead. Zola 7 has reportedly in a coma. South Africa Kwaito icon Nkosazana Dlamini, popularly known by the stage name Zola 7, was reportedly in a coma recently. He is said to be feeling much better because he's now taking medication on a daily basis. Zola 7 was reportedly not doing well and had an epileptic attack that landed him in a coma for several weeks. Zimoja reported he was said to be taking medication twice a day to help with his condition. The Lwandle hitmaker was said to have feared for his health. South African Kwaito icon Nkosazana Dlamini, popularly known by his stage name Zola 7, was reportedly in a coma recently. He is said to be feeling much better because he is now taking medication on a basis. Zola 7 was reportedly not doing well, had an epileptic attack that landed him in coma for several weeks. Zimoja reported he was said to be taking medication twice a day to help with his condition. The Lwandle hitmaker was said to have feared for his health and shared that he almost kicked the bucket. Zola 7 was quoted as saying, "I rose from the dead. I almost didn't make it. I almost kicked the bucket, but the medication is treating me well. I'm trying to eat right. I take 200 mg of medication in the morning and in the evening, so it's heavy. I was in a coma for 5 weeks due to epilepsy. I was not on any ventilators or anything. I was breathing by myself." The Ghetto Fabulous, a hitmaker, reportedly shared that he had lost a lot of weight but felt proud about his current weight. "I'm not going back to weighing 42 kg. I gained a bit of weight. I like this body now." Zola 7 looks forward to the future and reportedly revealed that he plans on releasing an album in the following months. "It's been tough, but I'm back. I'm working on a new album which I hope will be released on 24 April, but nothing is yet finalized. I have a lot of new music and it's only a matter of time." According to IOL, the award-winning musician shared he was getting back in the studio in August last year. He was said to have shared that he was feeling brand new and looking forward to getting back to work. Fans were said to have expressed that they were proud and thankful that Zola 7 healing and recovering well. Let's go to another news. Trans man gave birth, but people screamed in disbelief after he was caught doing this to the baby. Nkosazana, now in his 30s, was born a female but has transitioned to male gender. In an interview, the transgender guy described how he had been uneasy about his gender identity from childhood but had never realized what it was. Nkosazana's transgender co-worker enlightened him to his true gender identity, and he began medically transitioning to male right away. The news of his impending fatherhood completely shocked that 31-year-old trans man. He and his son Nkosazana said they are having a great time. After getting backlash for his beast feeding videos, Nkosazana opened up about his struggles as a new father last month. The trans man has been criticized ever since it came to light that he breastfeeds his newborn child. People on the internet attacked him for being a weak man since he was caring for and nursing his child. Many were outraged to find that Nkosazana is feeding his son breast milk. We are not trying to win anyone over except ourselves. Therefore, it's fine if others don't agree with our way of life. Nkosazana said she hoped that by talking about their experiences with pregnancy and breastfeeding, she may help other women feel less isolated. But as disclosed in one of his videos. Some people were not delighted with his being both a mother and a father to his child, stating things like, "You do not belong on earth. Males don't bear babies, and go ahead and go back to where you are coming from." It's okay to use what you have to give your child that best start in life. The best start in life. Ozzy told them so they shouldn't feel terrible about breastfeeding their own children. All the pieces are in place for Beast Feed. According to an interview he made to the Daily Mail, just because I transitions does not mean I divested myself from wanting to provide my child sustenance. He said he decided to keep helping others who are going through a similar scenario, despite the fact that the answer affected him deeply at first. Let's go to another news. SAD News, Muvhango actress Susan gets fired from work after this happened. The following episode will have Muvhango explaining his plans in greater depth each day in 2 p.m. on SABC2. You can catch the latest episode of the South African daytime drama Muvhango. The constantly grim tone of a popular soap opera that debuted in the early 1990s on network television has contributed to the show's steady decline in viewership over the years. Studies suggest that everyday declines in viewership numbers are due to users' discontent with the content provided. Modern plots involve Susan Maurela Mahua Azwindini, who is George Temudzani Uchilo, who is Wabudi Lidzegu, and Gugu Wabudi Lidzegu, Ukamina Fanele. Everyone in the room appeared dissatisfied with life. A few months ago, the world learned that Uchilo and Gugu were dating. She has no qualms about dating Gugu, despite the fact that he is old enough to be her mother. As she started seeing Azwindini, things quickly went downhill. Father and son outing, simply put, justice has been severely misapplied here. It's easy to presume that this was met with a cool reception from the crowd. When he told Gugu he was engaged to her, it was a total shock. The plot twist here was especially shock given Gugu's usual laid-back manner. She's become cold and unfeeling. A lot of people are mad at her for ruining Azwindini's marriage. Hence, Susan developed into persona that viewers were not anticipating. And as she tried to strengthen a marriage with a common herb, Muti, she made a blunder. Let's go to another news. Police arrest 3 ATM bombing suspects in Tembisa. Communities have been advised not to accept or pick up dye-stained money, as they have no value and may also be investigated as being part of this syndicate. South African Police Service SAPS Tactical Response Team TRT have arrested 3 suspects in connection with ATM bombings in and around Gauteng. The suspects were robbed on Saturday morning in Tembisa in an intelligence-driven operation. The trio were found with dye-stained money, explosives, and well as 4 firearms and ammunition. Police were following up on intelligence-driven information when they identified the first suspect, said SAPS spokesperson Brigadier Athlenda Mate. The 44-year-old South African national was cornered and his vehicle searched. Dye-stained money was found in the boot of his vehicle, she added. More suspects. 2 more suspects, a Lesotho national aged 35 and a 28-year-old Mozambican national, were also arrested at a house in Tembisa. They too were found with dye-stained money as well as unlicensed firearms, ammunition, as well as an explosive, confirmed Mate. SAPS acting National Commissioner Lieutenant General excuse me. They too were found with dye-stained money, as well as unlicensed arms, ammunition, as well as explosives, confirmed Mate. SAPS acting National Commissioner Lieutenant General Tibello Mosikili says police are mobilizing all resources to clamp down on serious and violent crimes. Well done to the Ekurhuleni and Tshwane TRT for successfully tracking down these criminals. Evidence in their possessions indicate to us we have the right suspects who have been involved in a spate of ATM bombings, said Mosikili. He also advised the communities not to accept or pick up dye-stained money as they have no value and may also be investigated as being part of this syndicate. The trial is expected to appear before the Tembisa Magistrates Court on Monday on charges of being in possession of a dye-stained money, possessions of unlicensed firearms and ammunition, and the illegal possessions of explosives. Let's go to another news. Mpumalanga man dies after rescuing boy from drowning. Mpumi and Tiwane sacrificed his life rescuing a boy from drowning at Mzinti River in Tonga this week. The 22-year-old man from Mpumalanga was fishing with friends near the river when he spotted a 10-year-old boy struggling to swim across the river. Police spokesperson Brigadier Selvi Moshala said the boy's struggle prompted Ntiwane to jump into the water in a bid to save him. The boy was successfully rescued, but Ntiwane lost the battle. Afterwards, vanished from everyone's sight. His lifeless body was retrieved on Wednesday, Moshala said. Meanwhile, a man has been reported missing since he went fishing. Innocent Makanya left his Mpumalanga home on Monday morning and headed to the Nkomazi River next to Tonga on Monday morning. He did not return home. It was confirmed by local farmers that they saw him fishing in the area. However, they do not know his whereabouts. The search was fruitful as his body was retrieved on Wednesday afternoon. Police in Mpumalanga have appealed to communities to refrain from fishing in the river, saying the water levels remain high because of the recent floods. Despite drowning, some creatures that live in the water have been forced to hunt outside of their comfort zones. Another one commented and said, "May his soul rest in peace. I guess it was a life-for-life situation. Brave man indeed." Another one commented and said, "R.I.P. hero." Another one commented and said, "Don't sit back and watch." Okay, it's fine. Let us go to another news. Woman caught digging in neighbor's yard at midnight, almost burnt alive. The family was asleep when they heard someone digging in their yard at about midnight. When they went outside, to check, they found a woman and her child digging. A family representative said when they asked the woman what she was doing, she couldn't respond. So the family called the community of Tembisa in Ekurhuleni to help them deal with the matter, as the woman wasn't talking to them. When she saw the community preparing tires to burn her, she started talking. "We still don't understand the excuse for digging in our yard so late at night," she said. The woman is accused of evil deeds, and the residents said this wasn't the first time she was caught doing such. Ladies and gentlemen, now I've come to the end of today's news, as the ESCOM has done its job. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones, so please subscribe till we meet next time. Ta-da!